I think we have Xingyu, Jin, and Richard Neal in the studio with us.
Hey guys, can you hear us?
Can you guys hear us?
There they are.
Hey guys, how's things going, man?
Fantastic. How are you?
Thanks for joining us, man. Amazing presentation. Very nice stuff.
Thank you.
I think there's a little bit of a time lag in between the time I'm talking, so I'll give a bit of space for you guys to hear me and then answer, okay? I'm guessing you guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just checking. So just looking at your presentation that you guys just did, you mentioned that an external researcher reported 3 lines of code, and then didn't really give any kind of additional information. How often does this happen? I mean, like, do you guys get a lot of reports where there's just, here's a vuln, I don't have any idea how to reproduce it, have fun?
It depends. Yes, that does happen. Sometimes people will do a report with a good write-up and a proof of concept. Sometimes they just say there's a vulnerability here. I think the reward programs do pay more if you submit a proof of concept, but it just depends whether the researcher wants to do the extra work or not.
So on a scale, I mean, like between 1 and 10 cases, right? How often do you guys see this happening? As in, like, a researcher just gives you guys some kind of like findings without any proof of concept, and you guys have to make it up yourself, as in, like, you know, build the chain yourself.
Difficult to say. I'd guess probably potentially 30%, 20-30%.
Pretty high, man. I would have thought it's more rare than that, right? Like not that regular. I mean, 30% is 1 out of 3, right? So that's pretty regular, man.
Yeah, I mean, it does depend. A lot of people who submit. There are some researchers who submit a lot of things, and they generally give a lot of details with it. It tends to be some of the newer, less regular ones that maybe give less information.
I'm not sure if you guys caught Mark Dowd's keynote this morning. Did you guys manage to take a look at that? Probably not. Okay, no problem. Anyway, basically he was talking about the state of mobile security and, like, you know, how the defensive state has moved for iOS, right? And we had asked him a question as in, is Apple kind of ahead of the game? As in, like, does Android have any similar defensive mechanisms in place, either already implemented or coming down the pipeline, say, in the next couple of months, that offers similar kind of protections? Maybe you guys can talk a little bit about, like, you know, overall Android ecosystem and how you guys are defending against, like, future attacks.
Well, yeah, we mentioned in the program the generic kernel image project.
Mm-hmm.
That the intention of that is to get kernel updates onto user devices more rapidly than is currently the case. By providing a single kernel image refreshed centrally, there's less work for everybody to do, importing security patches to all the different trees. So hopefully that should result in more frequent kernel updates and hence better application of security patches across the ecosystem. What other things are you sort of thinking about here?
Let me just pull up Mark's kind of slides. But I mean, basically, he's just kind of talking about how, like, the evolution of, like, attackers and, like, in a way, like, memory corruption bugs are kind of, like, on the way out. And, like, you know, now the attack surface kind of shifted. And, you know, how, you know, organizations have taken a proactive role in kind of, like, closing the gap to make defensive more, make it harder to exploit, basically, right? Like, so are there any kind of implementations you guys are working on?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm sure you've seen the media reporting about use of Rust.
Yeah.
And Android security is very keen on Rust, both for applications and potentially kernel development. So yeah, things are being developed in Rust that is being picked up by more teams internally. So hopefully that, as you say, will go some way to reducing memory corruption vulnerabilities. I mean, you can't replace the use of C overnight, right? The vast majority of Linux kernel is written in it, so it is going to be with us for some time. But yeah, we've moving language use to Rust where possible. We have quite a lot of analysis tools. We do a lot of fuzzing on things, looking, race conditions, undefined memory accesses, etc.
So talking about fuzzing, right? Like, can you guys talk a little bit about the infrastructure that you guys use? As in, like, we know that Google has like some increasing kind of like hardware and capabilities, but when it comes to fuzzing, like, can you guys shed some light into like what kind of bugs are you guys finding, or how many kind of like crashes are you guys generating on in general, and how do you guys verify whether those are exploitable or not?
Well, personally, I do a lot of human review on code instead of doing fuzzing. But for fuzzing, I think we usually use the systoler or the customized stuff to do the fuzzing. That's basically what's I'm doing so far.
So I mean, like, for example, Mark talked about the fact that you guys have fuzzed something like 29,000 bugs in Chrome since 2016, right? Can you guys talk a little bit about the infrastructure? As in, like, what exactly is your fuzzing engine look like? As in, for a normal researcher, getting access to this kind of like hardware, right? This kind of iron is almost impossible, right? So could you guys talk about like how do you guys set it up? As in, like, how many instances are we talking about, like, in the cloud that are constantly generating samples to generate 29,000 bugs in Chrome since 2016, which is a lot.
I honestly do not know how big our fuzzing infrastructure is.
Damn, we thought we could get some insight, bro.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, we do a lot of fuzzing. There's virtualization used in fuzzing for Android. We fuzz on real devices. We fuzz on virtual devices. For Chrome, we have a lot of server hardware, but I'm afraid I have no idea exactly how much.
Can you guys share with us like how big the team is? As in, like, let's just say if you produce like the fuzzing team, right? Like, as in all of the crashes that get outputted from the system. Let's just call it a black box that outputs this is a possible crash. Who does the verification that whether is it exploitable or not? Or how many people are involved with that? Like, is it a small group? Is it a large group? Is it automated?
Each group will look at their own crashes. So for Chrome, those will go to Chrome. For Android, those go to an Android team for review, etc. So there are a lot of different teams looking at the output. The teams will vary in size. Once the initial triage has been done, they can obviously call on the development team responsible for that area of the code to go and investigate further. So it's not necessarily one specific team doing the work and looking at the output. Yes, there will be people who triage the crashes, but then it goes a lot more widely across everybody else, basically, to fix bugs in their code.
Yeah, but also fuzzing the Android device is kind of difficult because there are a lot of OEM with different hardware. So virtualization for this hardware, like device driver, usually doesn't work.
So in terms of like when you guys looking for talent, for example, right, like joining Project Zero, like how would somebody go about doing that? As in, do they send you guys some kind of cool exploit 0 days and then you guys hire them from there, or like how does it work? I don't think it's a traditional interview, right?
So go ahead, Xingyu.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Well, we obviously advertise open positions. So people can apply. I don't know exactly how Project Zero recruit. Obviously, we know some people on Project Zero. A lot of people on Project Zero are very well-known security researchers. So yeah, I would expect having a public profile helps significantly there if you can back up what you say with a lot of evidence. But yeah, we post vacancies on the Google website. All the teams do. People send in their details. Applications are screened, and then they will go through a number of interviews with people like us, essentially, to talk about their skills and experience, work through some problems, and see if we like them and they like us.
So still the same old kind of style, right? Like nothing much has changed, I suppose, right?
Yeah, same. Yeah, I mean, recruiting somebody is quite an investment in time for them and us. So we've got to make sure we've got the right person, and they've got to make sure they're happy with what they're getting into.
Fair. Currently, I mean, do you guys have any openings on your team? Maybe the folks who are watching here who might want to apply. Are there any openings at the moment, or we'll call you, don't call us?
I don't think we've got any vacancies right now, but we are in the organisation is in the process of going through the headcount planning at the moment. So hopefully we will have some available headcount soon. But I don't think we've got anything right now.
Cool. I don't think we have any questions from Discord. Let me just check. No, we don't have any other questions. We've got like 3 more minutes, man. You guys go on wrap things up with any like takeaway notes about anything in particular?
Well, I think one of friend asked me like why we decide to disclose our vulnerability to Android in public. So basically, like we believe reviewing these details will help good guys build better defense, right? So we can also like prevent malicious actors who won't go undetected use this vulnerability in the future. So in general, we want to contribute to the Intel security community and build better defense together.
Thanks so much for sharing your thought. I mean, I think from Hack in the Box side of view, I mean, we always like disclosure. As in, the more that we can get that information out there, the more people can kind of give their ideas and input into it, and maybe have some new kind of insights into the problem. And if we keep everything in closed doors, then that helps nobody really. So, awesome. Thanks, guys. I think that's pretty much it. I don't really think we have any more questions to ask you guys. Thanks again for joining us and for spending the time to actually like deliver this talk live and also join us in the studio live as well. We have a Cyber Week event coming up in November. I'm not sure what the travel restrictions are on your side or whether you guys will be able to join us, but if it's possible for you guys to come, then we'd love to see you guys in Abu Dhabi in November.